Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. And by share, I mean copy this link and put it in your IG, put it in your Twitter, put it in on your Facebook, put it all your platforms. Share this particular episode, please, because it's going to be huge. Okay. The Georgia elections are going on right now, and I've got a couple of quotes from the Georgia Republicans. It is win or lose. It's all on Trump. And the Democrats are saying small rural counties will give Republicans a lead. And when the four big counties and the mail-ins come in, Dems win. Now, that was earlier. Right before I came on, I checked, and about 40% of the vote is in. And both Democrats are currently leading. So I wanted to touch base on that. I wanted also real quickly, I can't see if this is showing good or not. This is the third prototype of the EAR shirt. EAR, different colors, one people, And I'm going to just go ahead and begin the introductions with the person that designed all three of these prototypes. Apollo, what's going on, man?
How's it going, everybody? How y'all doing?
How's it going, Apollo?
Nice to meet everybody tonight. Hope y'all had a good New Year's.
There we go.
Quiet.
What was that, Star?
Yeah, quiet. Kept it quiet.
Were you?
Yes.
Were you? Did you like isolate? Did you quarantine?
Yeah, I had a couple of cigars and some champagne, and then I went to bed.
A woman after my own heart. What can
Hey.
I cigars and some champagne. I had a bottle of Prosecco. Okay.
Yeah. See?
And a couple of cigars. Yeah. And was very thankful to make it to 2021, to be honest with you, after what we've had on 2020. Now, Star, while I've got you on here, you are the first female to be on the show. Thank you very much.
I'm honored. I'm honored. I know that we swim in some of the same channels. So, and I just really appreciate the format and what you're doing here, and what you and Apollo have put together, and just giving people a chance to come and just express themselves and maybe come to a resolution that, we're not as all perfect as we think we are. It's all about humanity. Yeah.
Yeah, good point. And by the way, Apollo, this is our second official board member for EAR.
Welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm honored. I'm honored.
Yeah,
I want to do good things. I've been on the planet long enough to think I know a few things about some things and interactions with other people and how to bring people together. So I appreciate that.
We can always learn from each other. We can always learn from each other.
Absolutely.
Amen. Amen. All right. Up next, we have Angry Knuckles. What's going on?
How you doing, Doofus?
I'm doing fine, man. And I hope you're well. I understand you've been a little under the weather.
Yeah, I haven't been feeling good the last 3 or 4 days here.
It's not the COVID, is it?
I don't know. I'm waiting for my results to come back.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people have experienced this on the panel or you out there watching, but it's troubling after you take the test while you wait to find out if you're positive or not. Did you find that to be true, Knuckles? Or do you find that
I'll tell you a little bit. So I've been sick. The last 3 or 4 days have been worse than usual, but for the last month to about a month and a half, I haven't felt well. So everybody in the house got tested about a month ago, and I think they lost our results on that test because they still haven't gotten back to us. I've called, and they just give us the runaround. So I called my doctor last week. My doctor had me go to a whole different place. It was a drive-in, all this other kind of stuff. So those are the results I'm waiting for. But it's the fact that when you're waiting, obviously you don't want to put no one else in danger. You don't want to spread it. So you have to sit in the house and all that other kind of stuff. Like I wanted to go to DC for tomorrow, but you know, I don't want to get everybody else sick. But also at the same time, I think I said, I take care of my grandparents, and you know, with me being sick, I've only been around them if I need be. You know, if it's a dire an emergency. If it's not, I don't go around them. So, but one thing I wanted to mention real quick, I want to give props to I think you said it was Apollo that made those shirts. The shirt you're wearing tonight, I think I like that one out of the most of them.
Cool.
Thanks, appreciate that, man.
It's a big statement on that shirt. You know what I mean? It's important too. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, man. Well, thank you for being here. True Soldier. What's going on? Can you hear me? If you're talking, I can't hear you. I don't have your audio, True. We can see you.
There he goes.
There you go. Okay. Are you on? Can anybody else hear him?
No, I think his volume's not on.
Turn the volume up. Is that it?
You hear me?
Yeah, a
getting
little
there.
bit.
A little bit. Yeah, I think something's up with his volume.
Turn up the volume. We're still not getting him. Maybe log out and log back in if it's not too much of a hassle. All right, let's go to Galaxy Boog.
How's it going, everybody?
Man, how you been?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
You and Apollo are the veterans on here. You guys have been on. This is what, your third panel each?
Right.
Yeah.
How's it going, man?
Long time no see. Hope you're doing all right.
Right, everything's good, man. Hope everything been good with you.
Making it.
So good New Year.
So for me. I really don't do anything to begin with. So it's kind of just, I have this tradition where I go and get a cigar and a big fat, and I smoke that at New Year's every year, just to kind of, to be a little bit congratulatory to myself for, making it another year. And this last one was it was a doozy.
Yeah. So anything you want to talk about before we get started with things?
Oh, no. I don't really have much of a statement, so you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
All right. Man.
That's a great background.
I'm sorry?
I was saying that's a great background.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's a bit of an obsession.
Galaxy always has cool backgrounds. True, you gonna come back on, I hope. All right, let's get going, and hopefully he'll pop back in here. What I'm gonna do is I'm just basically gonna say a topic, and then I'm gonna say the first thing that came to my mind after I wrote that topic down, and we'll just kind of take off on that. And I'm going to start out with Grandmaster Jay. Now, if you're watching and you don't know who Grandmaster Jay is, he's the leader of the NFAC, which is an all-black militia, and he has been under restrictions because of gun charges stemming from an event in Louisville, Kentucky the night before the Kentucky Derby. And all honesty, I want to mention this to people on the panel and to all you watching. When I first heard that it was gun charges around the Kentucky Derby, I thought it was going to be from Derby Day when they were lined up directly across the street from police and federal officials. It looked more like, something could have happened at that point, more so than what the charges were actually based on. Okay, so Grandmaster Jay is the first topic. And what came to my mind was a powerful leader, but people should not think he is without fault or flaw. And of course, none of us are. But Star Child, your thought on Grandmaster Jay. First things come to your mind.
Yeah, so great topic. I started following him like a year ago. I'm former military. I work in the intel community. I mean, I've been around dynamic. I'm a former professional athlete. I've been around dynamic people all of my life. And so, he had a lot of energy, and I liked what he was saying. And then when we got into 2020, and there just felt like so much injustice. So I really liked the message, but the fact that he was trying to do things legally and per the Constitution, I think was very attractive for me. But you're right, he's not without flaws. I mean, that's no good leader. That's no general. That's no admiral. I'm former Navy. Everybody makes mistakes, and everybody has character flaws. But I think to get to where he is and to do what he's doing right now, he's necessary. He's very necessary. I totally admire him, and he's going to walk this journey, good, bad, or indifferent. He's going to come out better, and I think the purpose will be an enlightenment for everyone. So yeah, that's my take on Grandmaster Jay. He's like my brother.
It's odd you say that because the third topic is NFAC, and my first thought for NFAC was necessary. That's the only word I wrote down was necessary.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we're in agreement. True Soldier, seems like you're back. Are you with us, man? Still can't. Darn, still can't hear you. Okay. Galaxy Boog, Grandmaster Jay, the topic. And I know you had messaged me about this, and you had said that Grandmaster Jay said nobody reached out to him, where you actually reached out to him on multiple occasions, correct?
Correct. After Stone Mountain, I'd reached out to him the first time, and then again when he showed up in Louisville. Then there was another instance when he came to Lafayette, and actually tried to reach out to him, let him know that stuff was happening down here that he should be aware of, in attempts to try and just give him a heads up, just warn him, make sure he's watching his back. Nothing on. I didn't want anything to happen, which is why I went. It wasn't for him necessarily. It was for the Black voters registration that was going on prior. And I knew that there was going to be an instance where a certain militia from down here decided to show up in opposition of both the voters registration and INTAC. So I was prepared for that. And like I said, I did try to reach out to him multiple times, and I thought my message had gotten across to him. I watch his videos, so there was some stuff said that kind of let me know that he got my message.
Okay.
So he understood that I wanted to come for peace as well.
Okay. And for those that don't know, Galaxy Boog, what's the Boog short for?
Boogaloo.
Boogaloos. Okay. All right. Let's go with Knuckles. Knuckles, what's the first thing you think of when you think of Grandmaster Jay?
As an individual, I think he's a fraud.
Okay.
Plain and simple. I don't think he's what he portrays himself to be.
How so? Are you talking militarily, or are you just talking in general?
In general, just I watch him all the time. I find him entertaining more than anything. I just there's times where I've seen him, and nobody's perfect, so don't get it twisted there. But he just to me it seems like he's too much of a showman. It's fake. It's to me he doesn't seem true to himself. It's almost like it's scripted to me. Like it doesn't seem true. It doesn't seem like it really comes from the heart. Does he maybe have good intentions? I'm sure maybe he does, but there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. He's an agent, he's this, he's that. I don't know which one he is, but I just don't think he is what he portrays himself to be.
Okay.
I'm not always the best at explaining stuff, so.
All right. Apollo?
Well, you know how I feel. I done had a couple videos talking about him. I'm gonna try to be as respectful as possible.
Yeah.
If his intentions were pure and he was doing what he said he was doing for the reason he says he's doing it, I would be like, you know what, more power to that. Because we could use some self-policing, we could use some mentors for our young Black brothers and sisters in the neighborhood. We could use some, unifying. We could use some force for especially my Black community. But like I said in the past, like we got the new patriots that's hiding their racism behind patriotism, my opinion. And then we got Grandmaster Jay hiding his pro-Blackness, but it's really narcissism behind it. And that's just my stance. And it hasn't changed, to be honest with you. And like I said, I don't mean to disrespect, the sister say she sees him as a brother. This is truly my opinion, and I'm trying to be as respectful as possible, but I don't believe what he's on. And a lot is coming out. I seen a little Michi action. I don't take her word like, oh, she's God, but it's crazy that she's saying stuff that I said 2-3 videos ago. That's crazy to me that she's saying stuff I said, and she was kind of spent some time with the guy, and I went and based strictly on videos. I thought that was quite strange.
The next topic is Michi X.
Right. No, like I said, I don't want to bash him.
No, it's not about bashing. It's not about bashing anybody. This is,
I just feel like the position he done put himself in, it's like, dude, you could do so much for this community right now. But instead, you're choosing to let and I'm going to say it again, trauma from his past that caused his narcissism. That dude got some deep-seated issues that only a psychologist can bring out and make him face, but he's in a position and he hasn't dealt with that stuff yet. And look at how it's imploding from the inside, dude. Look at what you're doing. It's unfortunate, NFAC, I respect y'all, but that man, sorry, that's how I feel.
So can I add a little bit there?
Absolutely, please.
Yeah. So I've heard Apollo's commentary before, and I totally respect that. That's opinion. And I think people think that people follow him blindly, and that's not really the case. I think what we have to look at is the bigger picture here. So even if it's not him tomorrow, in fact, is an amalgamation of a lot of different militias and a lot of different Black gun owners that are willing to exercise their constitutional rights. So I think we get caught up on the bravado. And like I said, when you have a general, you have a dynamic person, sometimes you need a figurehead to lead an organization. But at the core, I think it was Angry Knuckles that said, hey, it just seems that it's a bunch of bravado and that maybe he doesn't, he's not sincere. If those aren't your issues and that's not your life or that's not your experience, of course it may seem like, it's a bunch of bravado and he's not sincere. But I think at the end of the day, we have to look at the greater picture of what the purpose is and where that organization is going. He is not the only head of head of that organization. I can just say, he's leading it because he's dynamic, but in fact is a self-sufficient entity, if you will. So I think we need to keep that in mind.
Okay, because again, as I said, the next topic was Michi X, and the first thing I thought of was KFOS, Fayen Star, and Delta DEF CON. You're talking about various leaders that the NFAC has, and yet it seems like the more impactful a leader gets, they tend to get pushed out the door, or at least it's starting to. Can you see how it's starting to maybe appear that way to some?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like skin. You shed skin cells every day. Any organized military organization, they're going to shed skin every day. There's going to be a beef here. You're dealing with human beings and egos. So just like skin falls off every day, people are going to fall off. But I think, again, we need to look at the greater mission and the purpose of that organization.
Well, and when I wrote down Michi X and KFOS and Fayen Star and Delta DEF CON, I wrote, the first thing that came to my head was, it was proof of my above statement about Grandmaster Jay, that he's a powerful leader, but not without fault or flaw. And it's also proof of each one of the individuals, Michi X, KFOS, Fayen Star, Delta DEF CON, proof of their individual loyalty and honesty, because they were loyal to him all the way up until he basically, in their views, from their truth, he basically pushed them out, and then they've been trying to be honest in defending themselves from what comes after a bad break. Everybody talks shit about each other after a bad breakup, and and only this time it's in front of the whole world on the internet. That's what it seems like to me. And tell me how wrong I am, because that's just what it looks like to me. And it looks like they're both going to go on as strong as ever. Now, is the NFAC, you're saying the NFAC is kind of its own entity with multiple leaders. Can it survive if Grandmaster Jay goes away for 24, 36 months?
Yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion. And from what I see from being involved and engaged with some people within the organization, I can't speak to anybody's intention. I think that it can survive because of the basis and the nexus and the core of what the organization is in its combined sense. It's people, men and women that want to exercise their constitutional rights and that are adamant about protecting their families.
It's a necessary thing.
I'm actually in that camp, and Laura Croft, Tomb Raider. So, but yeah, and plus, I mean, I like mechanical things. I'm kind of an engineer by trade, but that's just me. But I seriously, I think that the greater core of that organization will survive, even if it's called something else. I think he struck that match. God bless him for that. And if he can sustain the flame, that's great. If he can't, it will be what it's going to be. That's my take.
Anybody else? Anything before we go on? Okay. Proud Boys. Knuckles and Boog, you two are going to be the closest we've got to. What do we know about the Proud Boys?
Enrique just got arrested.
Yes, I was going to mention that he got arrested for destroying some property from a church, and,
Yep. Well,
go ahead.
December 12th, when he burnt the Black Lives Matter flag when we were attacked that night. Yeah.
You were attacked that night?
No, our organization. We had some guys out there trying to keep the peace, and they were attacked because of the affiliation with Black Lives Matter.
Okay, they were attacked by Proud Boys?
Yes.
Okay, all right. What happened? In the attack? They were just
Kind of.
were they trying to keep somebody else from getting attacked, or just,
From one particular case, one of the guys was just strolling down the street, kind of following back behind the crowd, and you had a couple Proud Boys come up. They were trying to intimidate him, and he was just trying to go about his business. And then they started throwing punches.
Okay,
Wow.
all right. Are they known for, I've been told, don't call them a militia. They prefer to be more of a street gang. Are they armed? Or are they just wanting fisticuffs? Are they just wanting to fight, or are they militarized, I guess is a better way of putting it?
Well, in my opinion, they do have weapons, and then they have non-lethal weapons, which they're more prone to using, pepper ball guns, stuff like that, and they're not shy about it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What's bear spray? Is that like bear repellent? Is that
Yes.
that's what it is?
It's like really strong mace.
Okay, all right. Because I've heard, I thought about going to Washington D.C. for this, and was told not to. So somebody said something about bear spray, and I just let it slip by, and it just popped into my head. Somebody on here is going to know, what it is they talk about when they say bear spray.
Yeah, and I think it wasp spray gets grouped in that. There are some people that use wasp repellent and wasp spray, and they use it for the same reason, so it gets lumped into that. But it's very effective. I mean, I'm just saying. People carry mace, but if you really, I'm just saying. I'm not confirming or denying use. I'm just saying.
Knuckles, you said you were going to talk to somebody that was associated with the Proud Boys. Were you able to do that?
I was not. They have been extremely busy as they are in DC now. Actually, as I was just about to, I was watching Viking live right before I came on here, and he was actually getting ready to talk to the person, or the person was ready to come on to give an update about DC because they're in DC right now and everything. So they've been real busy for DC.
Angry Viking is not in DC. I'm taking it.
Angry Viking is not in DC. Angry Viking has, a lot of personal issues going on right now. Family is everything.
Yeah.
So let's put it this way. He has a YouTube channel, so it's not hidden. But, pretty much his wife has gone through some, I guess, major surgery and not doing well. And
well, prayers to him and his family. There's blessings upon him and his family. I hope everything heals and everything progresses in a positive manner for all of them. And I mean that sincerely.
Yeah, absolutely.
About Enrique, yes, Enrique was arrested. They, as far as I understand, he has been released and he is out of Washington. From what I could understand, I don't know too much about what happened and why he got arrested or whatever, but it's all a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit. You have people who run out there and they run into these stores and they burn them down, they loot them and all this other kind of stuff. And, you know, they don't, and if they do get arrested, the charges get dropped and they get released and call it a day. But most of them don't get arrested. So for him burning a flag or a sign or whatever, it's all a bunch of baloney. You know, you have people out there burning the American flag every day. That's, you know, that flag means everything to people like me.
Do you think maybe it was like trying to, you know, to remove the head from the body so that, you know, he is out of Washington, D.C., and now the Proud Boys are kind of without a leader? Do you think that was part of a tactic?
I mean, if you want to look at it that way, you don't have to have a leader. If you're there on a mission, you don't have to have a leader. You already have your mission in play, you know? So if they do, or if they did have a plan, all because he's not there doesn't mean that the plan changes. You still go home with your plan, you know? You see that with terrorists across seas every day. You know, somebody in high ranks get taken out, somebody else steps up, but their plan still moves on. You know, it sickens me about everything that's going on, to be honest.
So I have a question. Angry Knuckles, do you think that he kind of took one for the team on that one? Because unless they had like really specific videotape of him doing it, I mean, he actually stepped up. I saw the deposition. He stepped up and said, "Yes, it was me." Do you kind of think he took one for the team on that one?
Like, probably did, and that's what a leader should do, right? If you're a leader, if you're someone who is supposed to be for your people, and something goes down, if you really love your people, you're really there for your people, you're gonna take the heat for it. You know, that's the way I look at it. If I was out doing something and I knew that this person had more to lose than me, you know, go have at it. Yo, I did it. There's people that do that all the time. You know, that's what love is. You sit there and you're there for one another when you need it. So I haven't seen the information you're talking about. Like I said, I haven't been feeling well the last few days, so I've been sporadic at watching stuff and talking to people. But you know, I heard earlier today that he was arrested when he got off the plane and all that kind of stuff, and you know.
So if I can ask one more question for Angry Knuckles. So you support Proud Boys, the anarchy, the kind of, you know, bravado and things like that. And when you talk about love for other people, love for your people, are you saying love for people or people that you just associate with? Because if you're out there and you're an anarchist and you see people kicking people down or stabbing people or whatever it is, you see another human being get hurt. Do you have any kind of empathy for that human being that got kicked down, or is that just a casualty of war?
Well, so it all depends, right? If that person did not do something wrong and he got jumped and you know, something happened to him, obviously I don't agree with something like that. That is, you should never go after somebody who is innocent, who hasn't done anything. But on the other hand, if you have done something to provoke the situation, as we have seen for months, you have seen, you know, patriots of this country sit back and allow the garbage that we see that happened this summer. They sat back and allowed it to happen. And people kept telling them, y'all better stop it. You're gonna awaken a beast. Y'all better stop. There's people that love this country that are not gonna take it too much longer. You're gonna go ahead and you're gonna awaken something that you don't want to. Just stop. There's other ways to do it. Am I saying that everything? Am I saying that the people that were out there that looted and burned places and rioted, did they have a reason? I don't think they have a reason to riot. They have a reason to be pissed. Of course, you have a reason to be pissed, but there's a way about going about things. And
So, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I'll finish up. So it all comes down to the situation. Back to your question, it all comes down to the situation. If you're out there and you're provoking the problem, and your ass gets kicked, or something happens, that's on you. If you're an innocent bystander and someone just walks up to you and starts beating the shit out of you, whatever, I don't agree with that. No, I don't.
Okay. True Soldier, are you in here?
Still no audio, I think.
Don't know audio.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Let me check and make sure it's not on my end.
I haven't been
No,
able to.
we heard him faintly for a second.
We can just hear him faintly just for a second. Nothing? Man, still nothing.
I have a question for him too.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Just a quick question with Knuckles.
hop in there, man. As soon as we hear you, we'll come to you because we haven't been able to get you on here. But Apollo, I apologize for stepping on you, man. Go ahead
Oh, no problem.
for Knuckles.
Oh yeah, question for Knuckles. And I really, it just crossed my mind a few times, but I never understand the purpose of a lot of the new Patriots or whatever, Proud Boys, all those, a couple of type of groups like that, where even Angry Viking, they're going to back the police. We got one of the bombest militaries in the world. I don't understand the logic behind, they're feeling like they're going to back the police. That's why I say this all of a sudden new patriotism to me is a mask. There's really is prejudice behind it. And they're calling it patriotism because if that was the case, Patriots doesn't have a color on it. And I just feel like, the logic doesn't make sense, so the whole situation doesn't make sense. So it's like I'm trying to get a better understanding of why a militia feels like they need to go back to police, especially if a lot of the stuff started from innocent men being killed by police, and they're just people are trying to demand justice and get that part under control. But now all of a sudden we got these people calling themselves patriots coming out saying, we're back in the blue when we got the best military in the world probably. Our blue doesn't need any backing. So it's like I'm trying to get a better understanding of what is the real reason. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, so see if I can, like I said, I don't always have the best way of explaining shit. Bear with me, but this is my thing. So, I mean, when I look, a patriot is somebody who loves this country, someone who stands up for this country and stands up for what they believe in. People that are out there, desecrating our flags and doing stuff like that, they don't love our country. They can't. If they did, they wouldn't be doing that. Now, when I look at patriots, I see patriots of all different colors, all different nationalities, everything else. I don't see just white people. So I can't say that there's prejudice behind that. Now, about the military thing, of course we have the greatest military in the world. But as you see, when Trump wants to go ahead and send in the military, everybody flips out. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. Everybody gets all hot and heavy with it. The first thing they want to do is say this is wrong about it and that's wrong about it. So, it's also, if I'm not mistaken, that's a militia is exactly what it's used for. You know, if something was to ever happen where our military got overrun, technically any president, not just Trump, could call upon the militias to step up and help defend the country. That's what they use for. So, you know, there's always been militias. It's just that things have been so out of control, very bad the last year. But, you know, since Trump has taken office and people got so mad that Trump got in, everything's been crazy. So
Yeah.
we see it a lot more now than we have ever seen it in the past. But there's always been militias.
Think it
Can I-
has, oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying, do you think it has anything? So what's your thoughts on, like, say, for example, Philando Castile, George Floyd, and all this stuff that originally that's what started these protests and all these uprisings. And then I'm not gonna lie, just like a lot of groups have been infiltrated and have been taken over and agendas have been pushed, and it's almost in turn political. And my thing is that if you're a true patriot, you're a true American, why not come stand with these people that are being abused and say, hey, all you good cops, let's get control of y'all bad cops. Let's do this as a unit together instead of separating, going over here behind the cops who people are trying to stand up to because they have a valid reason they're trying to stand up to, because there's innocent men being killed. There are cops walking. Did you see what happened to Philando Castile? His daughter was in the backseat of his car. A cop killed him. Guess what? That cop's free right now, probably in the Bahamas somewhere. That type of stuff, as a Black man, we got to understand that. Me personally, I got to look and see that and be like, okay, this is the world I'm living in. So I got to adjust my whole way of thinking in my heart based on that. So to hear another person say they're over here standing behind the police when this all started because, hey, police, you guys got some good guys, but y'all got an infestation of some bad people. Let's group up together, all of us so-called patriots, and let's take care of this problem so these innocent men are being killed. But instead, it's being separated. So it's like I'm trying to make logic out of it, but it still isn't adding up to me. But like I said, I respect your opinion, but I'm just trying to give you a different perspective. That's all.
Mhm.
No, I
Right.
understand. I'd like to come back at that because, you know, that's the thing that, and honestly, just like, you know, I'm sure a lot of the Patriots don't see what you guys talk about. You guys don't see what we talk about. For instance, when I talk to the people, you know, who I interact with, we talk all the time about how there's good and bad cops, just like there's good and bad in everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. So, you know, when we say we support the blue and we back the blue, we back those that are doing the right thing. There was an officer out of, I think, was it California or something, just recently that stepped up and spoke out against another police officer, and I believe he ended up getting fired and everything. I have a lot of respect for that guy. When you know, but to also mention that not all these Black people that are getting killed in the street, they're not all innocent either. Are some of them? Yeah. But, you know, and that's where we have to take care of that. But not all of them are innocent.
So can I intervene here?
Hold on just
And this is not, oh, go ahead.
If the camera's coming to me and it looks like I'm not paying attention and I'm on a laptop, it's because I'm on a laptop. I'm still hearing everything. I've just got a notification that there's a threat of an airplane flying into the Capitol. So I'm trying to get that audio up so that I can play it for all of us to hear. So please go ahead, Star Child. I apologize for interrupting. Go ahead
No. That's important news. So I have a question. I mean, I know that, and this is not an attack. I think this is great dialogue because we need to understand one another's perspectives. And so when we talk about patriots, I'll give you an example. I have generations of military people in my family. My grandfather served. My father served in World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War. My nephew has served. All of my sisters, I have 9 siblings. Everybody in my family has served the military. When my father came back from World War II, he still had to go and sit in the back of the bus. He still did not have the same rights in this country that were offered to German soldiers that were brought here to start the space program and to start some of these labs right out here in Bethesda. He still did not have the rights of a human being in his own country that he went and fought on the battlefield for. So when I think we should be very careful when we talk about patriots, there is no love of this country more and faith about this country, I think, more than Black people. When people talk about patriots and how, well, you can't be a patriot if you're fighting for your rights in the street, or you're protesting, or you're rioting, or I think we need to not be judgmental until we have walked in somebody else's shoes. The first year that I went to elementary school in Georgia, I went to a segregated school. And then even when they desegregated the schools, the teachers separated the classrooms. But I never allowed that to be, I never allowed that to be a crutch or a crippling factor for me, because of all of the people that went before me and that served in the military and our love for this country. So when we talk about patriots, I think we should be very careful. I think we should be very humble. Just because someone is white and they espouse racist views, that does not make them a patriot. In fact, it's actually counter to patriotism of this country.
Well said.
But
Go ahead.
you know, I still and you want to. First off, I believe you said you also served, and I thank you for that. You know, I thank you for your service. And I give that to anybody who has served. Now, that one of the biggest problems I see today, and this is my opinion, I have heard more about this racist stuff in the last year or two than I have in my whole life. I'm 31 years old. I have never ever heard of this much racist stuff going on. Everybody thinks everybody's racist. And if everybody put that view aside and actually talk to somebody and get to know them. Now, I heard everything that you said. Do I think it was right that your father came back and had to sit in the back of the bus and he was treated different than those that were German and white and stuff like that? It wasn't right. But at the end of the day, me nor anybody else, and I'm not saying racism don't exist, because it does. And unfortunately, racism is always going to exist. It's never going to go away. You're never going to get everybody on this earth to love one another. It's unfortunate. And I wish we could. I wish we could, because at the end of the day, we all bleed red. It doesn't matter our skin color. We are all people. So it doesn't matter. But, you're always going to have racist people. But there's not, you don't just have hundreds of thousands or millions of people come out and miraculously be racist in the last couple of years that have Black friends, that have Black family. A lot of these people that people are saying, well, you guys are racist. We have Black family. We have Black friends. We are not racist. All because we have a different view of things doesn't mean that we're racist. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, and I apologize if I'm not. But I just really need to get that out there, because it's hard me looking at it from my point of view, because you know, there's a lot of, and not every Black person, but there's a lot of Black people that I look at and I have to keep telling myself, no, they're not racist, because I start to think they're racist against me because of the way they talk or the way they act. But I have to give them a chance. I have to sit down and talk with them and see why they talk the way they do. Maybe there was an issue that happened that makes them feel the way they do. You get to know that, and that's why we have these talks and be able to sit down and, you know, get to know each other and understand. And this is very important. I want to thank you know, Mr. Welsh for allowing us to do this, because this is needed. This is needed because we're never going to move forward if we can't do this.
So if I can just maybe give a little bit of advice. So the difference between someone being racist and someone being prejudiced, everybody is prejudiced to some degree. It's just cultural conditioning. But I think we need to understand the construct of racism from a power perspective and from from an economic perspective. You know, everybody's prejudiced, but when we talk about racism, that is a power dynamic. That is someone being in a structural system, i.e. in a judicial system, that will allow someone to walk free. Two people, a Black person and a white person, do the same exact crime, but the white person get to walk free and the Black person have to spend 15 years in jail. So that's real in our judicial system. There is judicial apartheid going on right now. But I think we have to understand the construct of racism. And like Barry is trying to do here, we need to start having these conversations so that we can start breaking some of those things down, so that everybody has an understanding of that dynamic and how we operate within it and how we can become better human beings in the interim.
And it's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be, you know, but they're so necessary. It's so necessary, in my opinion, that we have talks like this.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing I want to, you know, say about, you know, it's not just the judicial system either. I know people personally, and I've had this happen to me. I've got into a business, and it would be a Black owner or a Hispanic owner. I'd get treated different. It's not just judicial system either. I know people who have gone to the welfare office to get assistance, and two people, a Black person and a white person, will go in. Their worker will be Black. The Black person will get the assistance. The white person won't. It happens on both sides. It just that a lot of people don't see it. But, you know, just like you being Black, you see it in your perspective where, you know, a white person and a Black person could do the same crime. One gets off and one don't. Is that right? Absolutely not. It's not right. But it's also not right where if you're down and out and you're struggling, you go to get some assistance. Because I'm not Black and my worker's Black, they're gonna favoritize their own. That's not right. And I've seen it happen. I know people who have done it personally. You know, I just, you know, it happens on both sides.
Yeah. Are you aware of the amount or the percentage of people that get welfare in this country, that receive welfare in this country, in some of the poorest counties and places in this country, and what the dynamics, what the racial demographics of those people are?
I imagine a lot of them are in the rural white areas of the country.
Yes.
I'm just guessing.
And that's by dynamics, because there are more white people in this country.
Right.
But I'm saying that to say, when I hear politicians use that as like, oh, they're lazy, they're shiftless, those people over there, when they say those people over there, what they're not saying is percentage-wise, the greater number of people that receive welfare in this country are white people. And so if we're going, we have to be honest about, again, shifting the mindset and the dynamics of what's real and what's not, and what's perceived.
Can I say something on that too? Can I say something quick?
Absolutely. Hop in, Apollo.
Yeah, I was just going back to whatever he was talking about, the whole, what she kind of want to touch on what she said, and it's just like he said he doesn't understand where the racism's been coming from for the last year or two. I will go back and say this has been going on for about the last 3 or 4 years. And I will also say that I truly believe the head of this country plays a big part in the current
Yes.
state of this country. And that the thing about it is, I don't mean to disrespect Grandmaster Jay, but I'm going to interject him just for a second. I'm sorry.
No,
Grandmaster Jay and
apologize.
Donald Trump, I'm just trying to be respectful. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Grandmaster Jay and Donald Trump, Grandmaster Jay and Donald Trump kind of they kind of remind me of each other, being that for their own agenda, they'll promote something that's not beneficial to the people that they're having doing it, because their real agenda is not what they're portraying it to be. That meaning that Donald Trump comes in here, he's pushing this whole racial divide and all this stuff because it benefits him. And I believe that that goes on the other side too. And so you're saying you're wondering why the last few years, if racism came to the surface, is because there's a person at the head of this powerful country that believes in that dynamic, or at least portrays herself to believe in that dynamic, which is causing a lot of racial tension that was already there. It's almost like quadruple. I'm saying my perspective. I'm not saying, I'm just trying to give you a different way to see that, because if people blindly follow people, you can easily be manipulated in your mind if you're not, open to trying to look at a different angles of stuff. Because think about it, it'll seem like that's going on, but you got to also look at the root cause of a lot of things. And I believe the root cause is that racial tensions are a little bit higher than they normally are, because the person at the top of that's running the country right now, they have been pushing that, and it's been blatant. It's not hidden, to be honest with you. And there's a lot of people that have got comfortable with expressing their racial opinions. And to be honest with you, it is on all sides, because don't get it twisted. I'm saying that it's a black and white thing. There's racist people in every nationality. I don't care what no one says, every race. You can point out a person, I can tell you something that's racist, but they'll have a group of people that probably sees a racist view. But at the end of the day, you got to pick and choose. Okay, are you going to acknowledge that, or are you going to keep your heart how it is and your perspective and see things from a different, empathetic, more realistic view? And I don't know if that made sense to you, but like I said, when you said that, I wanted to interject, but I was letting you talk. But when you said, why has it been like to the past few years? Me personally, I think is that the head person running this country promotes those values, and that's why it's been more brought to the forefront. Because the people that normally, there's a few people that normally keep it in the closet that came out a little bit more. So now it's a lot more people bringing it to the forefront.
Yeah.
See, it's. I gotta.
Yo, Bear.
True Soldier.
Yo.
Hang on, Knuckles. True Soldier. We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Man, I don't know what's wrong with this
There we go.
thing, man.
There we
No,
go.
he's good. He's good.
Welcome, True Soldier.
God damn, man. I don't know what the hell going on.
So jump in here real quick. Have you been listening? Have you been able to hear what's going on in the conversations?
Yeah. I'm listening, man. I'm young, man, and a lot of us young dudes, we don't listen, but I listen.
Well, talk to us a little bit about what you've been hearing.
Man, first and foremost, man, NFAC, I rock with NFAC. I'm not a member, but to see all these blacks stand up, man, it's about time. We've been marching for so long, that ain't getting nowhere. We got to do something. If we don't do nothing now, we fucked. Like I said, we got to do something, man. And like, to be honest with you, bro, tired of getting pushed over. Just tired of it, bro. We don't get no fair shot here. So where we gonna get the fair shot from? Just marching with signs? That ain't doing nothing. You feel me? And like I told you last time, Bear, I don't go to protesters for a reason, because I done been a slap one of them dudes for real, and I don't want to, get in trouble with that. I'm just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? That sign shit, bro. Nah, man, we ain't getting nothing by doing that.
Somebody want to hop in?
Yeah, actually, I do. I understand what you're saying about that, Soldier, but going out and beating up your local business, burning it down and breaking in and looting this shit and doing the stuff that they're doing, you know, and I'm not talking about NFAC. As we have seen on camera, NFAC has, you know, besides a couple accidental discharges or whatnot, they've kept it, you know, they've gone out there and done anything crazy like we have seen the organization of Black Lives Matter and Antifa. But my thing is, you say, you know, going out there and with signs and stuff, going out there and you know, ruining your own neighborhood or your own city.
We don't own nothing though. There's nothing that we own. Black folks don't own a piece of nothing. Why don't we own nothing? It ain't on us.
It don't matter if you
It's how it's written. But look though, it's how the other side got it though. You feel what I'm saying? It ain't on us that we don't own nothing. And then when you say tear down our neighborhoods, bro, I know people that stand on blocks right now do what they do. They ain't your block. That's a trap. It ain't nothing that we own. Why we don't own nothing? And your race own everything, banks, whatever. We don't own nothing. And then some black folks tell me the Woody Lynch letter is a myth. Come on, man. That's not no myth. It's real. That shit ain't no myth. It shows you how they did it. Just like Grandmaster Jay said on the interview, they trying to butt fuck him. You see what I'm saying? The same way they did it. The same way it's written. The same way it's coming out.
But hold on
we
for
don't own nothing. We don't own anything, so you can't say that. Oh, we turn down.
Hold on. So
this is an important point. This is an important point that True Soldier's making, because he speaks for a lot of people in inner city, and he's telling us, and we need to hear him. He's telling us that the reason it is so easy to set fire to loot to whatever is because they don't have an attachment to that area. And if they do have an attachment to that area, it's merely a trap because they can never get out of that area. Am I saying that right, True Soldier?
Yeah, man, I'm in the inner city every day. Just like some dude on YouTube, Man of Fear, whatever his damn name is, some old head. He tell me I'm young and dumb. Man, is you crazy? Man, he won't step foot in the inner city talking like that. I'm not threatening nobody, but it's just real. Some people, they just sit behind the computer, Barry, bro, and just talk from the inner city. They don't even live there. I live in this shit 24/7, man. 3 bodies just dropped at a fucking food restaurant. Then a body just dropped at the fucking gas station, bro. This shit's crazy. And people just talk from it, just think like, oh yeah, I've been there. You ain't been nowhere. We can't get peace. Just like Tupac
so if I
said,
can,
hey, ain't no peace. We can't get
if I can
peace,
intervene.
bro.
Yeah, Star
If I can intervene.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to pose this to True Soldier and also Angry Knuckles. What you're talking about, True Soldier, I'm gonna tell you from experience. I grew up in the projects. Everything that I have in my life, I didn't ask for fucking permission. Excuse my French.
No,
I just took what I wanted. I got myself educated and I took it. When people were trying to take my intellectual property and make it their own, I said, okay, you can have that one, but I still have my brain power. I still own all of this right here. So, you can build a tunnel under them or you can build a bridge over. And so I want to bring this question to fruition. What True Soldier is talking about, Angry Knuckles, do you understand that that has nothing to do with his character? It has everything to do with poverty and the construct of racism and resources and how that's distributed and how the judicial system plays out in this country? Do you see that at all? Or is it just those people over there rioting and they're thugs and they don't deserve any better? Or, how do you see that?
there are many successful black people in this country. So to go ahead and use the excuse that, you know, we don't own it. If a bunch of white people went into a bunch of black businesses and rioted and used that excuse.
They did that already in the
They
massacre,
do.
dude. They did that already, dude. We had everything, man.
Black
We
Wall
had
Street.
shit sold in. They are listen. Just see, look. You 31, bro. I'm 24, and I'm telling you this. They already did that. They already came through and wiped out Black Wall Street. And now, you see what I'm saying? You feel me? Did you know that? That they already came through and swept shit.
And that's not
So
the
it
only
ain't no excuse.
example.
I'm just
Rosewood,
saying.
that happened around the country in the 20s and 30s, and it still continues to happen subliminally. I mean, and on the surface. But what I'm trying to say here is that, True Soldier, that's your experience. Angry Knuckles, that's not your experience. And so you really kind of have a bird's eye view of what he's experiencing on the ground. And so in order for us to make change, we need both of you to see one another's perspective and to respect that. If it's not your experience, you're not versed in speaking to it. Same thing with Angry Knuckles. I mean, with True Soldier, he has some experiences. Angry Knuckles has some experiences that True Soldier wouldn't have. But if you can share those things and understand the commonality of your existence right now, I think that you'll see that you have a lot of things in common. I think that you'll see that, you know, your struggle is his struggle and his is yours.
Exactly. Exactly. And then it's like, and then it's like, just like when he said earlier, you see how it's so easy for them to say, oh, it was bogus charge. But it ain't easy for y'all to say that about that. Grandmaster Jay, they got him on bogus charge. It's not easy to say that, but you can say, oh, the Proud Boys leader, oh, it's easy. It's easy for you guys to just say that's bogus. But then when it's a black man standing up and doing what's right, it's not that easy to say that was bogus. So so to everybody in this chat, is the charges on Grandmaster Jay bogus or what?
I think both charges are bogus. I think it's bogus that the Proud Boy guy's being charged. And I think it's really bogus that Grandmaster Jay's being charged. Because what the Proud Boy did was more symbolic than actually materially destructive. And what Grandmaster Jay did was, in my opinion, more self-defense than it was predatory. That's my opinion. Everybody else go ahead.
Yeah, I think symbolic has I think what happened in terms of in DC, there are certain things that you can do and how you operate, and how the law is applied. It was a form of desecration, in the sense that, you know, it was deemed as a form of desecration in the way that they targeted the church and pulled down Black Lives Matter signs and things like that. So it just depends on where you're operating. If you don't know the laws and you want to be an anarchist and where you're going to create anarchy, you might go to jail. That's just how that works.
They don't play, they gonna hang you, man. You
Yeah.
already know. That's your color, they gonna hang your ass. They ain't playing no games. They gonna hang you, man. And it's crazy, man, that man, like I told Barry, man, I'm 24, man. I ain't never seen black people rise like that. I ain't lying. I never seen it, but you know, looking at old videos and you feel me? I never seen it, man. So it's something to look towards, you know what I'm saying? And you doing it legally, it's like, come on, man. I've been had my concealed. You know what I'm saying? It just where I'm at is just it's so controlled. Everywhere is controlled, but when you go, like I just took a trip to New Orleans and I went on the sugarcane plantation. They had a massacre there. And half of the people that I talk to and I know, they don't want to hear this. My mama, you with that racist shit. Nah, it's real. It ain't about racist, it's just real. My pops, he called me a racist. How you call me a racist, but then these other folks been racist for how long? And I'm a racist. I can't be a racist if I can stop the economic, you feel me? I can't, I can't stop their money. They can stop our money so quick, man. We be begging. I'm lying. Just keep it a buck. You feel me? And then it's like where I stay at. They have certain sections, bro, where you can't move. Why I can't move there? So what they do is jack the prices up. Oh, they can't afford this, so we're gonna jack it up. You feel what I'm saying? They moving where I'm at right now. They doing gentrification. They moving all the niggas out. I'm keeping it real. They moving all us out right now and building $300,000 homes. Where we gonna go? And where I'm at, they got the Spanish taking over. The Spanish, the new slaves. They working under the table. They working for a little bit of nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Can I speak on that quick?
Yeah, hop in there. Wait a minute. Let me say something real quick.
Go ahead. You good?
Just back to the thing in Washington D.C. When I said what I said about the leader being charged, it's because I think he took one for the team. Okay, and he wasn't necessarily the one that did it. Now, if it had been the people that actually did it, then it's a hate crime.
Yeah.
Okay. You see the difference. If okay. I just wanted to get that out there because
how it's a hate crime.
It's a hate crime because it's burning a representation of a specific community.
No,
like an effigy.
It's going
Like an
against
effigy.
a specific organization. Like I've said, I don't support the organization Black Lives Matter, but do Black Lives Matter? Of course, Black Lives Matter.
Right.
We both I have family and friends that are Black, but I don't support the organization itself.
Right.
That's a difference. Okay. And that's what they're looking at it too, right? And that's where there's a not a connection there, is that when they're burning that sign, they're not burning it because they're thinking of let's burn it because it says Black Lives Matter and we're looking at it as a whole of Black people. We're doing it because we're against the organization itself.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's not. It's really not about the sign itself. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Boo.
No, I apologize, Mr. Starchild. No, I was just curious why they were burning the Black Lives Matter flag and screaming Antifa.
Exactly. It don't make
And that's what I was going to ask too. So let me kind of piggyback on that. I said the other night that a lot of Black people were saying, well, if civil war starts in Washington, D.C., it's not our fight. And I said, it's not immediately, but it rapidly becomes that way because especially Proud Boys, they are very much against Antifa, and Antifa gets lumped into BLM. And just like I just did, BLM gets lumped into the entire Black community. So what do you think about that, Knuckles? Are we wrong on that?
So to kind of answer Boo's question real quick.
Yeah.
The reason I can't say for sure. I'm gonna say that my guess is because where they come from in Oregon, Washington, and things like that, Antifa and BLM, the people who claim to be BLM, they're pretty much one and the same. They're starting to be, almost like merging. So when they deal with people who are Antifa, they're also dealing with Black Lives Matter standing right next to them. So, they're looking at it as one and the same. From from different things that I've watched and different people I've talked to and heard about, that's my understanding of it, but I could be wrong.
So
how
have
would
you
you-
ever talked to anyone from Black Lives Matter or Antifa and known, I mean, do you really understand the purpose of each organization and how one or the other formulated? Because unless you have that information, the assumptions are your assumptions are off the mark. I think you have to have more information in terms of how you create a perspective around that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Paulo.
That was my question. I was like, how do you exactly go about determining, regular everyday people from Antifa or Black Lives Matter, the organization?
So
Or you specifically?
I don't think I'm understanding the question, but my thing is that I'm trying to go back to Starchild was just saying right before you went in, but I don't think I'm understanding the question. That's all.
Boog, you want to rephrase it?
As far as because there is a difference between Antifa, Black Lives Matter organization, and everyday people fighting for Black lives. There's a difference between all three. How exactly would you go about determining how you would classify somebody just by looking at them or talking to them?
If you're out engaging in the same activities as them and doing the same, birds of a feather flock together. All right. If you're out there with them doing it, then you're pretty much one and the same. That's the way I look at it. All right. If I was to go hang around with a bunch of skinheads and I was bald, even though I'm not a part of them, what would you say? You would say that dude right there is a skinhead because I'm hanging out with them. I'm associating myself with them. So if Antifa and BLM and everyday regular people, like I said, if they're out doing the same thing that everybody else is doing and they're engaging in that activity, they're one and the same.
Let's go back to you going to DC. I know you can't go, and I'm really sorry about you're not feeling well. So if you go to DC, if you wanted to go to DC, were you there to support the Proud Boys? What was your objective to be in DC?
So one thing I do feel like a lot of people are misinterpreting or not understanding is that when we say we're gonna DC, let me put it this: if I seen a Proud Boy get jumped by Antifa, bet your ass I'd jump. But I wouldn't be there for Proud Boys. At this point, a part of me would be there for Trump, but a part of me would be there for my country. And, a lot of patriots have been saying that the last, month or two, that it's now bigger than Trump, even. This movement, this whole everything that we do right now is bigger than Trump. It's for the love of this country. It's so this country can move on in the right direction.
So why does it have to be behind Trump?
Say what?
So why exactly does it have to be behind Trump? Why can't you just be American?
Because Trump is the one that's moving it in that direction. If
Really?
Exactly.
Oh,
Come
on, man, Trump.
if this guy, if Joe gets in, what do you think he's gonna do?
I mean, he's not going to be any better in my opinion. But I'm just curious. Evil is evil in my opinion.
Yeah.
And there is no lesser of two evils between these two. No matter who wins, nobody wins. We all lose.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
our rights are going to continue to be trampled on. I just don't understand how somebody can be behind Trump who's gone against your constitutional rights.
Right. So he's absolutely right. I think when we say birds of a feather flock together, people that support Trump and knowing who he is as a human being and what he has shown us and his lack of humanity and his lack of sanity. When we say birds of a feather flock together, would it be wrong for anybody on this panel, Angry Knuckles, to judge you as an inhumane, bigot, sexist, pedophile, or in any of those terms? Would it be fair of us to judge you in that, from that perspective, just based on what he has shown us? A traitor, and trust me, I'm from the intel community, so I know the damage that has been done. Like Malcolm Nance, I used to work with him, so I'm speaking from what I know. So when we talk about birds of a feather and we paint with that broad stroke, are you saying that because you support Trump, that you're a bird of that feather and you align yourself that way and we can see you that way?
But see, that's the thing, is that's how you guys portray Trump. I don't portray Trump that way.
How do you see him?
Yeah.
I see him
Yeah,
who
how do you see Trump?
up for what this country needs. He has done more for the black community than
Woo!
They
Okay.
always say that. I ain't gonna lie, I'm tired of hearing that. That line right there, I'm so tired of hearing that. It's like, man.
I don't have
Man.
all the numbers in front of me. But if I did, it would be, and you can go look up these numbers yourself. Go look up the numbers yourself and see how much he has done for the black community.
No, we live it every
Let me ask
day.
you this
We
question
live
real
it.
quick.
We live in this skin.
So
Go ahead, Apollo.
let me
You guys
ask
are
you this
worried
question
about
real
the
quick. So
Democrats that overrun your city or your state. That's who is doing it to you, is the Democrats. But you guys don't see that.
They both are. They're two sides of the same coin. No matter who it is.
they still getting paid off niggas. They don't want to let that. Hey, it's still slavery. Blacks are still political slaves, man. They get money off us, man. They leech out the ghetto. They get paid. Trump is trying to bring back slavery, so that mean you for that too? Cause I ain't for that, and man, half my people we ain't going for that. It's
I'd like to know.
it's a young generation out here. The young generation out here, I'm just here to tell you, hey, they're angry, and I'm one of them.
I'd like to
So
wish.
all that back to slavery, make America great. America never been great unless they're getting paid off niggas.
But see,
Come
that's
on,
the
let's
thing.
keep it real.
God's praying it that he's talking about. Let's bring it back to the slavery days. He doesn't mean he's saying bring it back to the slavery days. Don't you think that people are sick of, you order something off of Amazon and the first thing it does is come from China? Don't you think I want to support an American business, whether it's black or white? I want to support an American business. I want my stuff made here in America.
But
Not
how's
China.
Trump doing that? How's Trump doing anything to make that happen? How has he
Right.
done anything to make that happen in the
He
past
has
2 years?
He has brought back jobs and he has attempted to bring back more jobs, but he's always been everything he has done. There's only been one thing that I've seen the Democrats actually praise him on, and that was just recently when he said the $2,000 stimulus check. Other than that, they have fought him tooth and nail on every single issue.
So Angry, let's talk about that particular issue. Do you understand that it is the business people, the 1%ers that Trump supports, and he takes all of this money and he gives them this corporate welfare? Do you understand that it is those people that are taking jobs off of the continent and placing those jobs for cheaper labor and for a cheaper cost to produce goods? Do you understand that it's those people that are doing that it's not a Democratic thing? It's a Republican thing because they are funding it. But this is not what I try and get people to understand sometimes is that this is not a football team, a Sunday evening football team or Sunday night football team. This is America. And so these lines of division and how we see things in our myopic view will be the detriment of this country. Our myopic view and that opposition of the other and creating the other will be the detriment of this country. We will not, and until we can get over that, we will not have a country. I'll give America 10 years. If we continue down this trajectory where we separate those others and we are judgmental and we don't understand someone else's perspective and we don't try to evolve and raise ourselves to a level of consciousness that we can be on one plane, America's got 10 years. That's just my opinion.
I don't know if we've got 10 hours, honestly.
Yeah, the way I'm feeling, I doubt we'll last another year.
Huh?
Yeah.
That will last another year, in my opinion. The way that things are going.
That's the last segment I have is January 6th. We're an hour and a half away from January 6th actually starting. Let's start off with Knuckles. You know what's going to happen tomorrow. I know there's going to be a lot of boots on the ground. I have heard that the Capitol is going to be occupied, that Congress is going to be held hostage until they elect Donald Trump president of the United States. It sounds absurd, but I think they're going to have enough boots on the ground to do it. Now, that's question number one. Can that happen? Question number two is, are we going to have a civil war? Knuckles, are there enough people that are going to fight to keep Donald Trump in office? Or is there a point where everybody says, okay, we're backing down, Joe Biden's going to be president, we'll see you in 4 years, we'll have another election? Where's the country going to be tomorrow? Knuckles, start with you.
I don't know, man. I haven't heard what you just said. That sounds a little over the top. I also, I don't see something like that happening just because, they can, when you're held under hostage like that, and people got to think of this. They can say all they want. Oh yeah. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. But once you back down and once things calm down, now it's a different story. Well, we only said that because we were held hostage and this and that. But here are the real results. So people really think that out.
The danger of it is if they do occupy, if they do take that area, nobody's good. We got the greatest military in the world, but Trump or Pence is not going to call them out against those so-called patriots. Am I wrong about that?
And you see, you think that, right? But I don't know. I mean, I do think, no matter how much people think wrong of Trump, I think Trump has enough dignity to denounce something like that. That is
something like that?
To go ahead and take people hostage and at gunpoint and all that kind of stuff. No one in their right mind is going to go ahead and support that. I don't see him supporting that.
Good. I'm glad you say that.
But answer your question about the Civil War. I have pondered on this a lot. I have beat myself up internally about this a lot. I think I'm not too sure if we're going to see a civil war and people in the street literally shooting each other, but I do think we're going to have some type of uprising one way or another, because you have to understand we are at a point right now where so many people and I have seen video of election fraud myself. They put it out there. You can see it. And I'm sorry, but there's millions of people out there stepping forward saying there's been election fraud. This is what we've seen.
Of course, they're going to say that because they're riding with Trump. They do everything Trump says. Everything they actually listen to this dude. Just like Barry, y'all watch your Instagram, your YouTube videos when you said that it's dangerous because they're following him literally, and he got the world twisted. Man, the world's so twisted behind Trump. Man, come on, man.
Told you,
Keep it G.
you really don't think there's no way in hell that there could have been any type of fraud in the election. You think 100
No.
none.
Trump lost. He need to let go the power. He got let go the power, Trump. Just let go the power. Take your ass on to the county. Cause they waiting on it. Well, I don't know. They might even let your ass go. You partnering, man, you partnering so much motherfuckers. You partnering for what? Come on, man. You got people that can't even do that for the inner city bros that's locked up. Them boys don't get pardoned, man. You don't think them boys wish they could be pardoned too? How's that fair? You see me? That ain't fair. You feel me? They did something bad. So they should be what?
Going back to the question, do you think that there's voter fraud? What's your perspective on voter fraud?
There's no voter fraud. They just playing the games to try. Trump, you already lost. Just let it be. He lost. Okay? Just get out, let the power go and go on home. They gonna let him go home. They ain't gonna lock him up. Why they ain't gonna lock him up? Oh, he got too much money? Hell nah. His skin color. So there's no voting fraud, man. He lost.
I think what we need to understand that there is a scintilla, like a 0.0000000 point percentage of election fraud, and that has been every election since the American experiment has begun. Voter fraud does exist, but to the degree that people are espousing that it happened, that this election was stolen from Trump. This is, that there's no scientific evidence, or there's no, the people have spoken. And I think what we need to be realistic about is that, yes, voter fraud exists at a very minute level, but not to the degree that we need to start a revolution or start a civil war over.
So
that's what
my thing is this, right? I know people who have put their vote through and their vote wasn't counted. They have a right to have their vote counted. Whether or not it would have changed the election, we have a voting process, and their vote matters. All right. You had places that were deliberately having them use markers and everything else, knowing that their votes weren't going to go through.
Are you saying that because those are things that you saw, that you've experienced that yourself, or are you taking Fox News talking points, or are you, where are you getting that from? Because unless you have proof, you should be careful about what you espouse or what you say if you don't have that proof. That is a very dangerous.
Personally, who have checked on their vote and their vote still is not counted today.
That's hearsay. Did you see the ballot?
I have not seen it.
Okay,
but
that's hearsay.
Well, there's many things out there that are hearsay. So, I mean, if you want to go down that route, thing is you have to understand that you, just like I would have
Grandmaster jail agent. Yeah, like that.
So
I
just like I would have to come to the conclusion that what you're saying of, there is election fraud, but on a very, 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 very minimal scale, which is every election. You want me to take that into consideration. So shouldn't you take in consideration what we're saying too, that maybe there was? You have people in the government that has come out, Pelosi, Schumer, and everything else, that said a couple of years ago, we will make sure, no matter what, that Trump does not get in office again. When you hear things like that, and then millions of people step forward and say they've seen voter fraud, and then they will only allow certain people to look into that voter fraud. And when you want to bring people forward to do the investigation and you don't want to let them, if you have nothing to hide, if the feds want to come in and go on my computer and search for something, if I don't have nothing to hide, I tell them come in. I don't care. Search. I don't have nothing to hide.
Them motherfuckers come where I'm coming. They kiss my black ass.
So, you know what I mean? If you don't have nothing to hide,
So I'm an advocate of science and order, and I espouse the things, truth behind the things that I know and I have witnessed, and that are based in science and truth. So, the perspective may be different. There are some people that don't espouse scientific order, and there are some people that are just, that want to that want to make a fact because they think it's real in their mind. I mean, so but in my long living, that formula has worked for me. Facts have worked for me. Science has worked for me. And so I can only give you my experience. I can't formulate your opinion. But I would encourage you to travel more, or to get out there and see the world from a different perspective. Just take a deep breath and silence yourself and see the world from a different perspective. And I think when we do that, that's when humanity sets in, because you'll see someone in a situation that you could never imagine. You say, that could probably be me. How can I help that person? When you get to that point and you start doing that, not saying that you're not doing that right now, that's when you start to change and you start to see yourself not as a planet, but from a perspective of the universe and of the galaxy and the universe. We as Americans really need to get out of this mindset that we are number one and we're this and we are the pinnacle of all existence. We're not. We're not. There are countries that are so much poorer than us that don't have one case of COVID. But it's because they operate from a perspective of truth and science. So that's just, I'm just encouraging that. And you're a smart young man, both you and Soldier. And I was the one in the background that was saying, Soldier, you and Angry Knuckles should be talking, because you probably will find some of the same experiences and you're not so different.
I'd be willing to talk to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, this is.
But I see that in you. I see that in you. You're a thinker. You're a thinker, and I appreciate that.
I try to be. I try to, and it might not seem it, but I
No,
do
it
try
does.
different ways. It's not always easy, especially when you really believe one way too.
Yeah.
It's not always easy to look at it in a different perspective. But I and the thing is like I said, at the end of the day, we're all people, and I just, this isn't the America I know, and this is bad.
It's not, it's not the America any of us knew.
No.
Prior to, yeah. Okay. We've been on for a while. I apologize to True Soldier for not being able to get on here.
Oh man, that's this shit be acting crazy. I don't know what's going on, man.
But I do want to play this from CBS. It's CBS News exclusive. It's an audio.
Got some more breaking news, because CBS News has learned that the FBI and FAA are looking into a breach of the air traffic control system tonight after someone broadcast a threat to attack the U.S. Capitol over the radio frequencies used by pilots. CBS's Jeff Begays has exclusive new reporting tonight.
Hey, boy, they own it, boy. You play with them, they own it.
Exclusively by CBS News.
They own it, boy. Don't play with them, boy.
The controllers on Monday.
Can't play with them folks, man. They own it.
Sources tell CBS News the Pentagon and other agencies were briefed today about the digitized voice recording and believe it was designed to suggest hitting the Capitol on the same day Congress is set to count the Electoral College results. The recording refers to Qasem Soleimani, the Iranian general killed in a U.S. drone strike ordered by President Trump, and came on the 1-year anniversary of his death.
You look over his past, he's been called a monster, and he was a monster. And he's no longer a monster, he's dead.
But in Iran, Soleimani is revered, and Iranian officials have vowed revenge. CBS News learned that while the government does not believe the warning of an attack is credible, it is being investigated as a breach of aviation frequencies and the threat would be a crime. Experts say the intrusion is concerning because it could affect the instructions pilots get about how and where to fly planes. The sources tell CBS News that air traffic controllers were reminded today to report anything unusual, like if a plane deviates from its flight path or any type of threat. The FAA is working with law enforcement. The FBI is not commenting. Nora.
Jeff Pegues with that new information. Thank you.
Okay, there we go. So using airline frequencies to broadcast a threat against the Capitol. Anybody have anything other than wow?
Yeah, you can't play with them. They own it quick. The CIA, you see how quick they own it?
Yeah.
They own it quick. But then Breonna Taylor, see what I'm saying? They ain't on that quick. You know what I'm saying? That what bugs me. Is ridiculous. You see how they be on situations like that so quick? Why can't you be on situations like that when it's another race? I don't understand it.
Oh, they are. They were with me.
Understand it.
We're down there in Lafayette. They were taking pictures of me. They're on top of shit all the way around.
Yeah.
FBI.
You ain't gotta be doing nothing. You just show up with arms, even if you're just trying to fucking help people. Not speak for anybody. They got their eyes on you.
Yeah, they I think they target who they feel like people are targeted and they don't even know they're targeted. And until they do that one thing that is in their cookbook, then then you're on their radar. So that's just where we live. That's America.
I'm targeted by online people, but I think it's just like, social media people trying to get views and stuff. It's not for real.
That's all they doing, man. They got some shit on there. It's so many people running around with my name. I'm like, man, you ain't me. It's so crazy. I'm new to this shit, man. This YouTube shit. I was on Instagram, but I had posted some shit about Trump. They got me out of there. As soon as I posted that picture about Trump,
media like something crazy.
Man, I posted some picture about Trump, man. They got me out of there quick. I can't even get back on Instagram. That's why I came to YouTube. I ain't gonna let nothing stop me. I ain't saying nothing wrong.
They're doing that though, both sides, Soldier, just to let you know. People that are, patriots that are posting stuff, pro stuff about Trump. And I also heard people that are posting negative stuff about Trump. Anything political, they're starting to kick people off of these social media.
Yeah. I think a part of that is that they're trying to quell some of the anger that has drummed up and become just what he broadcasts. There's a lot of anger out there. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and people are spinning anger out of that misinformation just for justification to do some of the crazy stuff that they're doing. When you look at, kind of how people are even killing each other in this country, based on racial lines, and how the police are killing people, especially Black men. Let's just be honest about that. A lot of that comes from this permission, I think, that Trump has given to his base to be racist, to look at everybody else except them as others. That is a very dangerous position. And that is how Hitler created the Third Reich. And let's just be honest about it. So we have to be really careful about how we allow ourselves to be used from that perspective at all angles, at every angle. You know, Apollo talked about Grandmaster Jay being in the same vein as Trump, you know, and being narcissistic and things like that. The person is the person is the person, but the objective, we have to be in control of how we allow ourselves to be manipulated within the objective. So
Hey,
thank you for that,
can I touch on
Apollo.
that? Can I touch on that for a second?
Absolutely.
So I wanted to say to Knuckles and True Soldier, like, you know, because I think they're the youngest on the panel. I'm not sure how long or how old Boog is, but anyways, just they've been doing a lot of talking that I wanted to say something about. But I think at a time like this, because like True Soldier, I seen him in the comments a couple times. I think he got a kid on the way, or either he didn't just have one or he got one on the way. And Knuckles, I don't really know your history or whatever, but I feel like that, you know, right now is a time where it's a lot of different things going on, and a lot of people are manipulating people, and a lot of people are trying to control people's mind. And just from a older perspective, I would say, you know, the universe brought you here in this conversation right now. Take advantage of that, because you guys both have a lot of potential because you're thinkers, and which is a good thing. But just from a wisdom perspective, I want to say, open your minds up, step outside the box. Because if you don't step outside the box, people can steer you into stuff that's not going to get you nowhere. Because I see both of you two, honest to God, both of you got potential to grow up to be some powerful men and to be some thinkers. You're starting to think, and you're here talking. Usually at your age, I probably wouldn't have been on what you guys are on right now, which is, I applaud you for that. But my word of advice is open your mind, step outside the box. Don't do the tunnel vision, because think about this. Yes, I can name 19,000 problems, but that doesn't mean nothing if it's not solving anything, if you're not doing something about it. And there's avenues to get places. Like she said, you know, Star Child said, dig a tunnel or make a bridge. And think about it is, for example, True Soldier, you got a baby on the way. I was a single father for years. I can give you so much advice on how to get through stuff. It's like my wisdom, use it as a cheat sheet. That's where I tell my kids, use my wisdom as a cheat sheet. Surround yourself with people that'll give you a different perspective and get out of your comfort zones. And the thing about it is, that'll make you see the world in a different place, and it'll open your mind like you wouldn't believe. You know what I'm saying? And I hope you really guys understand what I'm saying to you. And like I said, I believe in both of y'all, you know, and I don't gotta agree with you on everything, but I believe in that you are seeking knowledge, that you do want to get somewhere. And like I said, you were placed here for a reason. There's a lot of knowledge in this panel right now. Let's feed off of each other. And hopefully, like I said, this is what the world needs, is to expand what we're doing right here. But like I said, with you guys, my recommendation is don't get out of your box. You know what I'm saying? Both avenues. Take a risk, be uncomfortable, because it's going to make you a way better person. It's going to get you to this level of wisdom as a man that you are going to greatly appreciate, and you can pass it on to the next person underneath you.
You know, and I want to touch on, you know, this is necessary what we're doing, like I said before. And I don't know about, you know, like people I associate myself with. This needs to get out there because, for instance, we all feel that people who are Democrats or Antifa or like something like that, they don't want to talk. We want to talk. We want to be able to sit down there and have a conversation. But when we go to try to sit down and talk, things don't go the right way. So by us sitting down here and having all different views and being able to express ourselves, and like you said, even though we might not agree, at the end of the day, we still respect each other. We like you said, step out the box, give each other, you know, some pointers and everything else, and be able to go on and be good about it. And this has to go out there because, you know, we need this. We need this more than what's gonna happen if we keep going down the path as we stated earlier. Because who knows how much longer we have till things really pop off. And while I'm talking Star Child earlier, I did want to step back to this real quick. You had asked if I have ever talked to somebody that was Antifa, and I have tried to witness somebody sit down and talk to someone that was Antifa. And I'll be honest with you, there was no, once they know that you're a patriot, you're instantly a fascist. They don't even give you a chance to speak. You know, you sit down, you go to talk, and they the first thing they want to do is disrespect you. They don't want to talk. They don't want to have a conversation. So it's been attempted. We haven't been able to do it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So just know that you were ready, but that individual that you were talking to was not ready. Go to the next. That's my advice.
True.
You were ready. Everybody is not ready.
That's true.
Interact with people that's ready, and we can soak up off each other. Because the thing about it is, not one perspective is going to be totally right. So what you got to do, you got to have an open mind when you interact with people that we all seem to have good intentions here in this conversation, hopefully, and just soak it up from each other. Like, I ain't got to agree with what you said, but you know what? Maybe I can take something you said and be like, you know what? I never thought about it that way. You know, I can understand why, you know, you look the way you look and you go into an all-black store, maybe you do feel uncomfortable, and maybe there's someone else to make you uncomfortable. And then I can hear the same thing that True Soldier saying, that he goes here, and I know I didn't experience that because I'm a black man just like him. And you know what? Empathy kicks in, and we gotta be empathetic towards each other in order to get our understanding. And we gotta know that we're, like I said, like the shirt he has on, man, we're one people, and we gotta start acting like that and do it as an individual. That's why I say step outside the box, you know, take a risk. You know, yeah, be your patriot if that's what you want to do, but also take some time of your day to just think outside the box or do something different that you normally do one time per day. And I'm saying that just to all of us, you know, and it'll help you grow, and it'll help you, you know, experience life in a different way. And, you know, it could change you for the better.
I mean,
True.
one thing I'm going to just respond to, Apollo, is, you know, I personally, and that's, you know, that's why I brought it up earlier, but I've personally been in issues where, you know I can't walk through that neighborhood because I'm white. You know what I mean? I know I can't. Unless I'm with somebody that is black and that knows people in that neighborhood, I can't go in that neighborhood. And literally, it's not because of my beliefs. It's not because of I'm a patriot. It's not because of anything. It's literally just because I'm white. And you know, I used to feel differently, but as I got older, you know, I tended, you know, I saw things in a different light, you know, that, you know, all because they don't like me because I'm white doesn't mean anything, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But you know, I have been in situations where black people have been racist against me personally. So, you know, I just put that out there.
I believe you. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I was going to give True Soldier. Go ahead, Apollo. You go ahead, and then True Soldier can speak on that.
I was going to say, I believe what you're saying, and don't get me wrong. People, the thing about it is, racism doesn't really come in a color. You know, even though this country is known for doing a lot of damage to, you know, say men that look like me, but racism doesn't really have a color. And the thing about it is, it's just like you almost got to go down to you got to break it down, and eventually to where it's like, okay, good and bad. Is you got to break it down to good and bad. So you can't really base it on that, because I can go into an Asian neighborhood and as the black man, and I'm gonna feel like, oh, they're kind of racist towards me, and that has nothing to do with a white person. But just understand it's good and bad, and you just gotta pick which side you want to deal with and think about it. Yeah, there's going to be uncomfortable situations all of us are going to face. You know, that's just what it is. That's the world we live in. We live in a world that has evil in it, and we just got to accept that. But that's what part of this group that we're doing is we're trying to come together and create some unity to help combat that and maybe get it down, them numbers down a little bit farther, and people get a tradition going, so that way we can pass these methods and thoughts to the next generation. That's the purpose of what we're trying to do here. And like I said, I believe everything you're saying, man. But racism doesn't have a color. It's, you know, it's predominant in certain areas, but the thing about this, it still doesn't have a color. And all we can do is break it down to good and evil and try to be on the side of good, so that way we can kind of stand up to all this hate and evil and stuff that goes on in this world together. And hopefully that's the way things can start pushing towards that direction, hopefully.
True Soldier, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, man. It's like, man, it's like, I know, like, you know, it's time to be different, but it's like, man, it's been going on for so long. How can we just like erase it? Just like they try to erase everything about black. Like me personally, I just can't erase it. I'm not saying like, oh, you see a white person, just knock the shit out of them, because if, to be honest, that's what they would have done to us. off of a color. But then it's like I hear people today, they tell me, oh man, young blood, be different. But when I do try to be different, I get my hand bit. Every time. It's not one time, it's every single time I go to work. Got motherfuckers don't even want to get in the elevator with you. Goddamn, man. You don't want to get in the elevator? I ain't gonna bite you. You don't know me, I don't know you. You feel me? I don't know you, you don't know me. I'm not gonna bite you. But you know what I'm saying? I know it's like a lot of people say be different, man. It's like I'm not saying it's like impossible to be different, bro. But it's like, damn, bro. It's like I went to elementary school, and then it's like when I was in elementary, it's like it's weird. It felt weird. It's like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I've been feeling this shit. So now when I get older, it's like, okay, my mama ain't never tell me about this, about, oh, they gonna hate you or whatever. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like, it's kind of hard being different coming from where I'm from, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not
So-
saying it you can't change it, but it's like, damn. So we just supposed to just forget about it?
No, I don't think so.
So can I give True Soldier some, and I'm speaking from experience. First and foremost, you have to be your star player. No matter how somebody hates you, whether they are just like, they can look at you and side eye you, and you know, and a lot of young people say, oh, they disrespected me because they looked at me that way. But you didn't have any respect for yourself if you're going to go and fight them, because you're fighting on a whole different level. If you are your star player and you respect yourself, you're not going to give a shit about what somebody else thinks about you. That's first and foremost. And it is not your purpose on this earth, I can guarantee you, to erase anything that has happened in the past. That ain't your time stamp.
Right.
That is not your purpose.
Yeah.
And so by living, and I know sometimes people think, well, Black people are just living in the past. No, we're not living in the past. The past keeps coming up and haunting us with the same bullshit that it has before. And so we have to continue to address it. It's like deja vu all over again. It's like the movie Inception. But I will say to you, once you become your star player and you say, I could give a rat's crack about what anybody thinks about me, your perspective will change about how you move in the world. I promise you, and I will give you my number. If I need to help you get there and do that, I can do that. And that goes for Angry Knuckles as well. That's what I'm here for. Because look, I'm old. I don't give a shit.
Yo, Star, I have a lot of respect for you. Out of this conversation, I have a lot of respect for you.
I appreciate that, man.
And just the way you talk and the way you bring out stuff, because you know, you kind of just I'm not gonna say you fully answered the question, but you know, you just helped me understand a little bit more on, you know, something that I've always had a question with, because I've always said, like, you know, why do Black people hold on to the past so much? It's not my fault that my ancestors did what they did. If I could have go back in time and beat their ass, I would. But I
not
can't.
your job.
Man,
You know what I mean?
tell me
So
about it, man.
forward. So where you say that, you know, you guys keep feeling it's a deja vu type thing, that helps me to understand, well, now I know where some of you guys are coming from, because, you know, something happens in your life personally that makes that come up again, and now you guys are faced with the same shit. It's just like people that have what is that called?
Post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Post-traumatic stress disorder, you know?
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
in their life, then everything lays low for a while, and then all of a sudden, bang, something happens, and they start to go into an anxiety attack, and you know, everything goes crazy. So I can kind of see your point there. So I just want to bring that out. I thank you for explaining it that way.
That's what we're here for, man. I want to see, I would really like to see everybody on this panel just move forward and evolve. And especially, I mean, I'm an advocate for young people. I just, because it's your world, you know, I'm about to bounce up out of here. So, I mean, I just want to be able to make sure that I can give you some nuggets, some advice. And like my grandmother used to say, take what you need, throw the rest out the door. Don't make me no bother, because I'm on my way out anyway. So that's just how I live my life, man. And it's not arrogant. It's just honest. I'm just honest. I'm good with me.
I appreciate that. Let's go down the line, anybody, and everybody get a last word in here. We're at 2 hours, and it's gone by quick. And I said at the beginning, please subscribe, like, and share. And when I say share, I mean this particular episode. Take the address up at the top, copy it, put it in your IG, put it in your Facebook, put it in your Twitter, because people need to hear these conversations, and they may not happen anywhere else other than right here on the American Doofus Show. And God bless each and every one of these people that have been here tonight speaking their truth. And I appreciate each one of you. Apollo, you got any last word?
I just want to say peace and love to everybody. Let's try to change the narrative. Let's try to, like I said, rather than think of stuff based on race, let's think of stuff based on behavior. We don't condone certain behavior. We're trying to move forward and change our thinking, change our perspective. I got love for every last one of y'all. I want to see all of y'all progress in life. I want to see all y'all enjoy y'all time on this earth. And I mean every word when I say that. And I'm here for anybody that needs anything. And like I said, we'll do this again, but I really appreciate it. It was a good conversation tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. Boog?
To stop thinking by what you're told, with everything going on, and start thinking for yourself. That'd be the first step. There is you can't just go off of what everybody's, what you're being told. At one point, or at some point, you can take what you need, like Miss Starchild was saying, and then throw the rest out. That was very good. You should actually do that a lot more with your daily life altogether.
Right.
A lot of this misinformation that's going on, very widespread. You can't really determine exactly what's truth and what's not anymore. So you got to pick and choose and follow up on it. Start thinking for yourself. Actually do the research.
Thank you, Matt. Knuckles, last word?
First off, thank you to you for having me on here, and thank you to everybody else that I talked to tonight for giving me the opportunity to be able to talk with you guys, and to be able to just sit down and have a nice conversation. We all have to keep an open mind and open heart. At the end of the day, we're all people. It doesn't matter your race. It doesn't matter your color. As I think it was Galaxy said, you got to go ahead and go with good and bad, and just keep trying to keep your head up and move forward. And to end it, for those that might watch this, that are out tomorrow in DC, whether you're there for whatever reason, whether to protest in a good way, in a bad way, whether you're on the left or the right, black, white, doesn't matter. Just, watch yourself. You see anything suspicious, call it out. At the end of the day, we're all people. We don't always agree, but life is precious, and you gotta continue to remember that. So, just hope everything goes well tomorrow.
All right. True Soldier, last word, my man.
Man, that was salute to everybody who on here, man. Appreciate Eric for bringing me on the show once again, man. Just like that boy Apollo say, man, we got to move forward, and sister helped me realize, I got to open my eyes more, but it's going to take some time, man, because coming where I'm from, it's kind of hard thinking different out here too, man. It's hard out here for us. Young black males is hard. Not even just young, you know what I'm saying? It's literally hard out here, man. just like the sister say, we gotta like either you gonna make it under the bridge or you can make, we can make it, but you feel me? It's just hard.
You either
You know what
gonna
I'm saying?
tunnel
But
under them
appreciate
or build.
everybody, man, on here, man. Double salute to everybody, man. Y'all stay safe, stay dangerous. Cause it's hard out here, man. And I don't know what tomorrow gonna bring, but I stay scrapped. Hope everybody stay scrapped. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about defending yourself. That's it, man.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you all for watching. And thank
Thanks, everyone.
everybody on the panel, Star Child, Apollo, Knuckles, Boog, True Soldier. I love you all. Thank you so very much for.
Hey, Barry, if I can say, I'm gonna have to watch Boog. Boog is quiet. That's quiet. That's a quiet storm. I'm gonna have to watch him.
Well, boo.
It pays more to listen than it does to speak.
Sorry, I got
Guys,
the name
Hear my
wrong.
life.
Galaxy. It was Apollo that I was talking about. Sorry.
Go ahead, Boog, say what you were saying again.
Something that I learned early in life is that it pays to listen more than it does to speak.
Well said. I learned so much. I learned so much from listening tonight. I learned so much from each and every one of you. And I hope you out there in the audience did as well. Thank you all. Thank you all. God bless each and every one of you. And I'm going to be live tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. right here on Facebook or right here on the YouTube channel. We're going to be broadcasting everything that happens in Washington, D.C. And hopefully it's absolutely nothing. Hopefully it's absolutely nothing. I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. It's the
All right, Bear.
Don't be a doofus. Love y'all. Take care.
Be
Bye.
safe.
Unite and fight.
Unite and fight. Love you all. Peace.